Now tell me who wanna fuck with us? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I bang and let your fucking brain tank. Snitches, fuck Marley bitches with riches who carry 22s up in they hosiery. A black telling when my father bustin' and loaded me. Think he just finished sniffing the key and dipping the D's. Don't hate me, hate Nicky Barnes for hitting my mom's letting the condom pop. Nigga, I was born in the drop. Coke boiling the pot. Shake the feds and bust shots at them street cops. Fuck your point is. My point is double fours at your fucking jaws pointed. Hollow point shit, 4.6. Need I say more, or do you get the point, bitch? Come on. What type of nigga slangin' bang in the streets? Bad boy. What type of nigga stay in the trunk for weeks? Bad boy. What type of nigga fly Bentley cool? Bad boy. Aim for the sky, caught the shit, then shoot. Men striking on the floor. Banging on your horse, second the crime scientists examining for flaws. For the Cristal, on the way to trial, Rico Law got a nigga head hurting, squirting till they...
Top of the morning, YouTube. How we doing today? It's Saturday, y'all. Your boy B Jizzle is back live on an exclusive YouTube. Exclusive only. That's right. I got some things I want to talk to y'all today about. Have y'all seen the press conference that Brian Schottenheimer did this morning? Yeah, I'm pretty juiced up, man. I'm liking what I'm hearing. But top of the morning to everybody. Welcome. It's your boy B Jizzle. I got two things I want to talk to y'all today about, and that's going to be my NFC East primetime predictions. That's right. You know, we got the schedule coming out on May 14th. In case you've been streaming under a rock, this is why you need to follow, hit like, comment, and subscribe, baby. We got the rookie mini camp that's going on right now in Dallas. The rookies reported on Friday. And actually, they reported on Thursday, signed their paperwork. On Friday, they was getting fitted. And today, they're doing some more stuff. But I heard the press conference with Shotty this morning, and I was really, really impressed on what they're doing in terms of relationship building. And I think this is what's really been missing in Dallas. And quite frankly, I think I've watched Schottenheimer's posts or his pressers more than I think I ever have Jason Garrett, because I feel like when I listen to Schottenheimer, I'm getting a little bit of substance from the conversation. I'm not like listening to a robot talk, you know, like how many of y'all remember Jason Garrett out there talking like a robot? Oh, well, these guys got the opportunity in front of them and they got to make the best of it. And we're looking square at our opponent this week. We're not worried about what happened last week. We're not worried about what happened last year. We're looking at our opponent. Like, I'm tired of the robot talk. Were you tired of the robot talk too? I know I was. But I got a glimpse of the Shotty press conference this morning. And, you know, I didn't even know it was on, just popped on YouTube on Saturday. So welcome back, everybody, to YouTube. Y'all know mostly I'm live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, but I'm starting to migrate towards YouTube here on Saturdays during this off season, so we can show some loves over here to the subs. You know what I mean? Show some love to the subs over here. But we're talking NFC East primetime games today. Did you know that the Dallas Cowboys had 6 primetime games last year? Well, I'll tell you, my prediction this year is the Cowboys won't have the most primetime games. There was 3 teams last year. I think the Niners, the Jets, and the Cowboys that had 6 primetime games apiece. But the Cowboys won't get 6 games this season in primetime. And I'm going to tell you why. I've got my NFC East primetime predictions. Why? Because NFC East is about to be must-see TV. I don't think a lot of people are really paying attention. You know, New York went and got out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes by signing Russell Wilson and, you know, Jameis Winston. You know, I heard this guy over there in New York was mad that he wasn't getting the peel. What's his name? Malik Neighbors. So I guess they went out and got 2 guys to chunk him the peel all season. But I'll tell you this, I'll draft Malik Neighbors in my fantasy football team this year because one of them quarterbacks going to get him 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. But the New York Giants also drafted Cam Scatterbo. Or Scatterboo, right? We got to deal with Cam in our division now. We got to deal with Saquon now in our division. But there's going to be a lot of primetime games in the NFC East this season, and the Cowboys won't have the most. You're going to be surprised at who I have the most. You know, I think the NFC East is going to have about 20 or more games. I said it, 20 or more games on the primetime slates. Why? Well, if you take a look at the last 3-year average over the last 3 years, The NFC East has averaged 16 primetime games a season. That's a lot. What up, Sterling? He says he acts like he already to coach and change the culture. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Appreciate you tapping in here, Sterling. Thank you. Good to see you here this morning. My gym rat in there competing for gym rat of the month. We're going to be going over the competition that I got during May last month. We had position predictions. So shout out to my guy Sterling who participated. We had position predictions last month in April. Could you predict how many running back, wide receiver, tight end, the Cowboys were going to draft? And so we drafted 9 new players. We signed 9 new undrafted free agents, which 2 of them are a wide receiver. And, I wanted to give my NFC East primetime predictions today because this Saturday, all my patrons will have to have their predictions in because in the month of May, we're doing schedule predictions. That's right. Who is the Cowboys going to open up against? We're going to get to this NFC East primetime must-see TV article here in just a minute. But the other day, I was on live on Facebook, and I was talking about something that I had read on the internet about a classy bully. That's the term that Mike Fisher used. Shout out to my guy Mike Fisher out there on Sports Illustrated. He had used this term. I wonder why. I know I had read it from somewhere, but I want to make sure I give him credit because y'all know how y'all reporters and all y'all bloggers and shit do. Hey, you stealing my stuff, man. When you talking to me, it's my credit. All right, Mike Fisher is giving these rookies a new nickname in terms of what they're looking for at the Star and Frisco when it comes to Schottenheimer is they're looking for classy bullies. Have y'all ever heard that term before? Classy bullies. Well, if not, I got that link that's in here so you can scroll up to the top of the comment section. I pinned that article here so that way y'all can check it out by Mike Fisher. But that really stuck with me. Classy bullies, right? What is a classy bully? Well, we can just take a look at example A, right? A classy bully would be somebody who was drafted first overall by the Cowboys at number 12 and Tyler Booker. Now, I know a lot of Cowboy fans were in love, including me. I wanted Ashton Jeanty. I was Ashton Jeanty or bust, dog. Like, I needed Ashton Jeanty to fall, but we seen him go to the Vegas Raiders, right? But we're talking about these classy bullies. So we drafted our first ever classy bully. Meet Mr. Booker. He is a classy bully. This is who I was talking about the other day in reference to Mike Fisher's term there. I really love that. And that's what we're talking about today. This classy bully culture that Schottenheimer is building within the building. Something that I gleaned from the press conference this morning was that Schottenheimer said that he made Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons, he made everybody in the locker room switch their seats. A lot of y'all might think, oh, this doesn't mean nothing. They switch their lockers around. That's cool. They want to sit by their boys. Defense want to sit with defense. Offense sit with offense. Maybe receivers, running backs. But no, Brian Schottenheimer basically said that Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons are now sitting next to each other. He said the 2 best players on the team are now coexisting in the locker room side by side. Now, I don't think a lot of people understand the psychology of this on what Schottenheimer is doing with this locker room. And I think this is what's really been missing when we talk about this culture in Dallas, when we talk about the elephant in the room. The Dallas Cowboys are like the most undisciplined team in the league, right? If you follow me on Patreon, if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen me talk about Mike McCarthy averaged 114 penalties a season. 114 penalties a season in the top 5, 3 out of the 5 years he was a coach. And last year, we seen our rookie Tyler Guyton become the most penalized offensive lineman in the league. As a result, we've seen a lot of undisciplined actions and characters and, things going on the field that was bleeding over into the game. And I think this is where it starts, is in the locker room. And I'm glad that the rookies have reported there. They're on rookie minicamp right now. We're going to go over some dates. I got the mandatory OTA dates. We're going to go through some dates and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to open up the conversation this morning and let y'all know what's going on. I'm here to spend all my time on YouTube on Saturdays with my YouTube subs. So thank you if you sub to the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you if you've liked, commented, or subscribed or shared any of my content. I know that everybody enjoys reels or shorts, as they call them here on YouTube. So we've been trying to post a little bit more shorts. So we've getting some more reach. So all my creators out there know what I'm talking about, especially my YouTubers here. I actually just wanted to come and hang out where all the cool kids are at on YouTube. I'm on Facebook where, I know my demographic is at, the old head Cowboy fans. Because when Facebook came along in what was it, 2004? When was it? 2014, I think. Was it 14? No, it was 2004, I think, right? Yeah, all the Cowboy fans that were first to the internet went and followed the Dallas Cowboys. That's why they were the most followed Facebook page on the app, with over 8 million followers. That's where my market is at. But I know all the cool kids exist over here on YouTube. So I'm trying to bring my old ass over here to hang out with the YouTube kids and the YouTube pool over here. So if you're tapping in, give me a comment and let me know they're working. I appreciate you tapping in, Sterling. What up, Prototype? We see you. See you in the building. Good to see you. That's our April Gym Rat of the month. Right there. 8 correct picks. She got 8 out of 9 picks. Shout out to her and Sterling, both in the building right now. Both of them got 8 out of 9 picks on the position predictions. That means they guessed or they predicted 8 of the position groups that the Cowboys would draft. And both of them finished with 8. So I tip my hat to both Sarah and Sterling in here. It's good to see you both. Sterling says it's Dak and CD's team, and there's something different in the air that's going into training camp. Yeah, it's different. And after watching that press conference today with Schottenheimer, it gave me a little bit more insight. Like I said, every time I listen to Schottenheimer, I get some substance from this conversation. I know I'm not the only one that feels like this. Listening to Jason Garrett, listening to Mike McCarthy, it was atrocious. I felt like all we ever heard from Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy was excuses, because the media is always going to go in, especially after Cowboys lost. And after all them home games that we lost last year, after 2 years ago being the best team to win at home, with the best winning percentage at home, for us to lose the amount of games that we did last season at home, it was atrocious listening to Mike McCarthy post-game interviews. Well, I think Brian Schottenheimer was sitting back taking notes. Where are all my veterans at out there? I'm a retired Navy veteran, served 23 years. If you did any kind of time in the military, leadership is key, especially if you want to get a group of people to accomplish something that they've never accomplished before, or get them to that next level, right? So shout out to all my veterans, because, you've worked for people that you said, man, when I'm in charge, I'm not about to do that. Like what that guy's doing, like when I get my own crew, I'm not going to run my crew like this guy runs his crew. And I think that's what Shotty's doing right now. And I think the psychology behind the locker room and moving Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons side by side in the locker room is going to pay dividends. Why? It's going to force both leaders on both sides of the ball to talk. You see, a lot of us, well, kind of all of us now, we kind of live interconnected on the web, right? On the intranet. Right? We're all connected on these apps. We're all connected on our phone. We're all connected on the internet in some way, form, or fashion, right? And it's always easier to talk to people between devices. And I think that's going to change this season, because you see Dak and Micah Parsons side by side. I think we go from the devices, like the taking shots on the podcast, taking shots in the media, taking shots on subliminal shots on social media. I don't think we see any of that this season. Y'all remember Tank Lawrence, who left and went up to Seattle and got a bag and was gassed against Green Bay. Yeah, I know I'm on a soapbox here a little bit, but we're going to get back to this NFC East must-see TV, because like I've shared with y'all, the Cowboys had 6 primetime games last season. I only got them getting 5 primetime games this season. Why? Well, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, and the Dallas Cowboys had 6 primetime games, and they didn't win the Super Bowl the year before. But I got the Philadelphia Eagles actually with 6 primetime games this season. That's right. Take a look at the article, or take a look at the image here. These are my primetime predictions. I got the Eagles at 6 primetime games. You say, how can we get 20 primetime games in one division in a season? Well, look at the last year 3 average was 16 games. It's not too far-fetched, especially if you've been paying attention. Has anybody been picking up what Jerry has been putting down in terms of forcing or trying to go to the league and saying, hey, we want to open up against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football? Could y'all imagine that? The Super Bowl champions open up against the Dallas Cowboys. Is that even possible? You know, I didn't even think it was possible. I thought that they always had to have the two teams that was in the Super Bowl the year before or something like that. But if the Cowboys open up against the road on the road against the Eagles, that's already 2 out of the 20 primetime games. Now you say 20 primetime games, yeah. Eagles are going to get 6. That's 2 right off the bat. You got to look at what Washington Commanders did last season. Dan Quinn up there with the Dallas Cowboys 2.0. Washington Commanders are going to get some primetime games. I believe they get as many as the Cowboys this season. And then you've got the New York Giants. And like I said, the New York Giants got out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes by going and signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. And they went and drafted Cam Scatterboo. Oh, and they got that guy out of Penn State. What's his name? Abdul Carter. It's getting ready to be must-see TV in the NFC East this year, y'all. And if your team is not in the NFC East, get used to seeing NFC East teams on the primetime schedule. Now you say, well, how could Philly get more than the Cowboys? The Cowboys got 6 and they didn't even win the Super Bowl. It's a great question. That's a great question. Like I said, the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, right? Then you got this guy, Jameis Winston. How many of y'all been paying attention to Jameis Winston? He's made his journeyman around the league, but this guy is good for media. Check out Jerry and Jameis right there. You don't tell me the NFC East is about to be must-see TV? Oh, and then there's this. Did you know that there has not been an NFC East repeat champion in this division in 21 consecutive years? Take a look at it right there. It's been 21 years since there has been a repeat NFC East champion. That bodes well for the Cowboys. You want to know why? Because the Eagles won NFC East last year, right? So that means the NFC East is up for grabs by any team not named the Philadelphia Eagles. You could argue with the stats. They're right there. But you've got to deal with that too. So that adds another element to the primetime game, because who is going to be the champion of NFC East? This is the biggest, baddest division in the league. After all of the draft, after all of most of the free agency that's been done, all teams are now pretty much equal across the board when it comes to the NFC East. And there's also this. More NFC East tidbits. Did you know that the NFC East is the only division in the National Football League that has 4 number 88s? Yeah, y'all know I'm on my 88 behavior, baby. I'll be in Virginia this May. Be out there, boots on ground. We was just in California last week. I'll be in Alaska next month in June. You know I'm on my 88 behavior. There are 4 players in the NFC East that wear the number 88. Yeah, that's a cool little stat right there while we were doing some research on that. And then we get to the big kahuna, which also today, I'm going to give y'all my 3 schedule predictions. Now, we're doing the schedule predictions competition on Patreon. So let me pull that up for you right quick. So what does that mean? Well, can you tell me when the Cowboys are flying to Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders this year? The only wish that I have for NFL schedulers that may see this or may get wind of this is, please don't put that shit on no Thursday night football. But we're kicking off May on our 120-day Patreon challenge. That's right. And in May, we got a competition. In June, we got a competition. In July, we got a competition. And in August, we just had a competition in April. All these competitions will determine the Gym Rat of the Month. Now, you say, well, in case you're new here, you're just checking me out on YouTube, you may have subbed and you don't know what's going on. Once you become a patron of mine, you can get into these competitions. Now you have to have a Raise the Bar membership for $4.99 a month. You can check it out on my Patreon here. You can scroll up to the top. That link is already there in the memberships. Get your Raise the Bar membership and you can compete. Now you say, well, why do I want to come compete just, for whatever? Well, there's some prizes at stake too. Yeah, we're going to have autographed jerseys. I've got different, I could just show you better than I can tell you. Got one of the big ones that we got going on is, how many of y'all have watched Breaking Bad before? Any Breaking Bad fans out there? Any Breaking Bad fans out there? Los Pollos Hermanos. Breaking Bad. I got a Breaking Bad mystery box here. This is going to go away. You can learn all about this on my Patreon. So all you got to do is click the link. And, if you want to just check it out for the first time, you can go over there. I have a current 7-day free trial that you can check out too as well. That way you can stick your head in there and find out if it's something that you want to do. I share a lot of information for free, but all of these competitions, you're going to have a Raise the Bar membership, a State Board of Governor membership, or a angel investor membership. But to kick off this competition, I'm doing my NFC East primetime predictions. I already told y'all 20 NFC East primetime games. That's number one. Tell me how many primetime games each NFC East team is going to get. These will be due Saturday for everybody on Patreon. So make sure you download the Patreon app if you get on my Patreon and, look for that to come out this week. But next Saturday on the 10th, because you got to remember the NFL schedule comes out on the 14th, and I anticipate that they're going to release some dates of some games like primetime games and things like that. Like we're probably going to see who the Thursday night football opener is against. Now, like I said, Jerry has been going to the league campaigning that he wants to take on the Eagles week 1 on Thursday night football. Are y'all ready for that, Cowboy fans? I am. Because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? And like I said, that will be 2 primetime games off the bat. So make sure you understand I need each of the primetime games per team. That is part 1 of this competition is the primetime NFC East primetime games. How many are they going to get? They've averaged 16 over the last 3 years. Can you tell me how many each team is going to get this season? I told you the Eagles are going to get 6. I hated to do that, but hey, they top dog. And I see why if Jerry is actually campaigning. I shout out to my girl Kels with the intels on position predictions about a month and a half ago. She shared this with us that Jerry was going to the league campaigning for a opener against the Eagles. It's going to be interesting, right? But the next part of the predictions here is going to be the NFL schedule prediction. Now you can see is this scrolling across down the bottom down here. Can you predict which week the Cowboys play in Vegas? Why is this game so important? Well, if anybody who likes to travel and go to games, if you travel to the Atlanta game, the Atlanta Falcons game, last season, I think week 8, when Dak Prescott got hurt, I was there. That was the takeover game. You say, what's the takeover game? Well, the takeover game has now been deemed in Las Vegas, as I think the only Cowboys game on the West Coast this season is in Las Vegas. That means all Cowboy fans that like to travel are traveling to Las Vegas, because think about it. Vegas got it right when they put an NFL team there, because you could get 2 checks in the block off of, your to-do list, right? Vegas, ching. Go to my favorite NFL team game, ching. You can do it all and get a vacation all in one. So they've done that right. But I know a lot of Cowboy fans are going to be traveling to the West Coast. There's going to be a lot of events going on in Las Vegas. But I need to know, which week are the Cowboys traveling to Vegas? And then who would the Dallas Cowboys open up at home against? And which week? Because if we open up on the road, Philadelphia, that's week 1. Week 2, we could turn around and open up against the New York Giants. That's who I got the Cowboys playing. New York Giants. Why not? Let's just play 2 NFC East games right off the bat. Y'all remember how many times we used to get the Giants at home first all the time? It was like every home game I think I went to 3 or 4 years straight, we had the Giants, right? Well, I predict that in week 2, the Cowboys will see the Giants. I think week 1, we go to Philly and we play Philly, because that's got to support this whole 20 game campaign for the NFC East primetime, right? And then lastly, let me see. Let me get to my notes here. Oh, yeah. Week 5, I think week 5 is going to be Las Vegas for me. We travel to Dallas, or we travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. So week 5. That'll be my prediction. Now, these are only 3 predictions. I'm going to have the rest of my schedule predictions. They'll be on my Patreon on Saturday. So if you want to see those, like I said, you can tap the link, get a 7-day free trial. You can come over here and check out this competition. If you like it, you're more than welcome to, get your Raise the Bar membership. Come back next month in June. We're going to have another prize to give away in June. And in May, we're just trying to figure out who is Skedradamas. Like, who can predict when the Cowboys are going to play who, what, and where. So like I said, I got the Eagles opening up against the Cowboys at home. I got the Giants week 2. I know it sounds crazy. And then I got Las Vegas week 5. Those are my 3 picks. And I'm going to give y'all the rest of all of my schedule picks on my Patreon, like I said, on Saturday. So if you're playing along in this position, you're going to want to get, see, I got all my picks right here for the whole year. But those are my 3 picks that I'll give you as a teaser. And then all of my picks will be up on Saturday. So stay tuned, pay attention, download the Patreon app, and pay attention to when that information is released. So that way you can get it in, because if you get your predictions in late, you're going to miss it after the fact. Now, we had 5 people compete last month. All I'm asking is, can we get 10 people this month? Let's get 10 people. I want to know, can you tell me which week the Cowboys are going to go to Las Vegas? I said week 5. Who are the Cowboys going to open up at the home opener against? I got the New York Giants, week 2. Then I got the Dallas Cowboys traveling on the road, week 1 to Philadelphia on prime time, open up Thursday night football. Y'all imagine that? Woo-wee. Especially if we go in and knock. Could y'all imagine the Cowboys go to Philadelphia and knock off the Super Bowl champions week 1? What's the media going to say? They're going to have to ride the Dallas Cowboy coattails the whole season. They're not going to like that. And, we're going to have to play Philadelphia later on in the season. I think we play Philadelphia. Well, we play Philadelphia twice every season, right? But I think both games is going to be prime time. Why? Everybody's going to tune in. Everybody loves to see the Cowboys lose. And everybody's going to want to tune in to see the defending Super Bowl champions, right? Well, there's my NFC East primetime predictions right there, baby. Sterling says, yeah, we are the best 4 TV markets. You got that right. You nailed it on the head. Everybody says, why are the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East? That shit don't make sense. They're in the middle of the country. I'm with you. Yeah, geographically, it don't make a whole lot of sense because Texas is the South. It ain't the East, if anything, right? So do me a favor, hit that like button if you know Texas is in the South. We ain't on East Coast time. We on Central Standard Time in Texas, right? Yeah. Biggest markets these are the biggest TV markets in the league, y'all. And you wonder why the NFC East has been able to average 16 prime times a game. That's why I'm going all in this season. Well, I'm being a little selectively aggressive with my NFC East primetime games because I think the Eagles are going to get 6, and I think 2 of them are going to be against the Cowboys because, like I said, we could open up against Thursday Night Football against the Eagles per what Jerry is pushing. And then we're definitely going to see them again down the road. Now, I think we're going to see the Giants on one primetime game, and we're going to see the Commanders on one primetime game. Why? It just makes sense. When you got the 4 biggest TV markets, like my guy Sterling is saying here, it makes sense to put these games because why? They're looking for eyeballs. Sterling says, BG, so like week 7 when picking. What do you mean? Talk to me a little bit more. This Saturday, we're on Saturday today, so a week from today, you'll have to have your NFC East primetime prediction games in by team, and I'll make a note in that on where to put those at here this week. So I wanted to come on YouTube here, explicitly share that here with y'all as a YouTube Saturday to catch everybody up on what's going, especially with the primetime games and the scheduling, because the schedule comes out May 14th. So we're definitely going to see some precursor games come out. We're going to see a little trickle of 2, 3, 4 games before before the schedule comes out, right? How many of y'all can actually remember when the schedule used to come out same time the draft was? I can. The NFL has done a great job of making events every month throughout the year. The NFL is a 365-day operation around here, in case you didn't know. Right now, we got rookie minicamp going on in Dallas. Like I said, the rookies have already reported to the Star. All 18 of them. We had 9 rookies that we drafted. We had 9 signed undrafted free agents come in, so 18 bodies. The Cowboys have their full 90-man roster ready to go into training camp. I can't remember a time ever that I think we were dismanned, that we were fully manned, and we pretty much done all of our work. Now it's mini camps. So like I said, I was going to have some dates for y'all. Like we said, we're in rookie mini camp right now, and then OTAs are coming up, organized team activities. That's going to be May 19th to the 20th. So that's this month too as well. It's going to be May 19th to 20th, the 22nd, and the 28th through the 30th. and then June 2nd and 3rd and the 5th. That's OTA days. So all of those OTA days are broke up between May getting into the first week of June. And like I said, once we wrap up schedule predictions in May, we'll have a whole nother competition coming up in June. You're going to get a chance to win one of them Big Val hats. How many of y'all have seen those big time cowboy hats people wearing that's customized? Will you be able to win your own customized hat from Big Val in June? I've already got a couple of hats from the Hat Plug on order. And then we got mandatory mini camp. So that's when everybody has to report. So you got mandatory mini camp and you got mandatory OTAs. That's getting ready to come up. We already had voluntary OTAs, right? Where we seen Micah Parsons come in. There was a lot of news about that because he's on a contract year. Folks were anticipating, well, if he doesn't show up to OTAs, he's probably going to hold out. We're probably going to see a DAC or a CD contract repeat like last year with Micah this year. Now, if you've been following me and you've been keeping up, I told you we were going to drag Micah Parsons' contract likely to the draft. And if they didn't get his contract done by the draft, we're likely going to see them drag that all the way to training camp until the 11th hour, like we did with Dak and CD. Y'all remember that last year? Get your popcorn ready, baby. It's the same movie every season. If you know how this front office works, it's the name of the game. And, you know, so many Cowboy fans run around and refuse to accept the facts. Like, once you understand how the front office moves with this team, you're going to get out of your feelings a lot of times because you're going to know, all right, that's how they do business. Why aren't we going and signing some free agent named Keenan Allen? Why we ain't going and getting Amari Cooper? Because that ain't how the front office does business. Let alone from the politics on Amari, let alone from maybe the injuries and what it might cost to get Keenan Allen over there. But Cowboy fans always want to fall in love with free agents. And y'all know, if you understand the analogy, shout out to my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports over here on YouTube. If you understand the analogy between bastards and sons, you're not going to get upset with the Cowboys anymore when they don't go get these free agents. Because what is a bastard? A bastard is a free agent. What is a son? A son is one of them 9 rookies that we drafted, like Tyler Booker, right? This classy bully. This is a son. This is one of the Dallas Cowboys sons right here, is a classy bully. That's the ones that they're trying to develop now in the stars. They're trying to get guys to come in with some attitude, with some accountability. And we're already seeing it right now with rookie minicamp kicking off. They're already getting fitted. You know, they're getting their helmets. They got to earn their star. So we got OTAs coming up this month. Next month, June, and then once we get into July, the end of July, we'll have, training camp kickoff. Well, essentially, I'll be in training camp first week of August. So I look forward to getting down there because there's a lot of position groups that I want to look at when I get to camp, like wide receivers. Who's going to be wide receiver 2, especially if we don't dabble in any more free agent market. We got CeeDee Lamb plus 11 other wide receivers. And then we got running backs, right? We just let Malik Davis go. We just cut 4 people. We just waived 4 players, right? Malik Davis was one of them as a running back. A lot of people was like, why didn't we waive Deuce? Why didn't we waive Hunter Lipke? Well, if you remember precisely last season, a guy by the name of Royce Freeman, who was a running back. The Dallas Cowboys signed him to a free agent contract of like $1 million last year, right? He never even played one game. He never even suited up. So Cowboys typically carry 4 running backs on their roster, or 3 running backs and a fullback. So we're going to have to narrow those position groups down, but that's going to be in training camp. But today I wanted to spend some time with everybody on YouTube today, especially and give you my NFC East primetime predictions. So let's go over those one more time. Here they are. I got 6 for the Eagles. I got 5 for the Cowboys. I got 5 for the Commanders. And I got 4 for the Giants. You say, well, how could the Giants get 4? Well, you got to take a look at, they went and got Russell Wilson. They got Jameis Winston. Y'all know Jameis Winston, everybody wants to see. They don't care if he throws 50, 11 damn interceptions. They like Jameis Winston's smile. They like his energy. And, of course, when you got Jerry cutting up with him, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother story, right? Then they drafted Cam Scatterboo over there, too. So now we're going to have to worry about stopping the run in the NFC East times 2, especially with Saquon Barkley. So it's going to be must-see TV. And like I said, there's my predictions. Make sure you get yours ready for this Saturday. I'll have where you need to put them for all the patrons that's going to be participating in this competition. But can you tell me how many total games the NFC East is going to get? Like I said, over the last 3 years, it's been 16 apiece. And then it comes to schedule predictions. I gave y'all my 3 teasers. I think the Cowboys open up against the Eagles on the road, one primetime game. I think the Cowboys open up at home against the Giants, which nobody wants to see. And I think week 5, the Dallas Cowboys travel to Las Vegas to play the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday Night Football. That's if the schedule is favorable. But all of these competitions and more are on Patreon. And like I said, shout out to our position predictions. April Gym Rat of the Month prototype, longtime supporter here. She got 8 out of the 9 picks right. We're having another competition this month. So all these months we're having competitions. You say, what do you get out of this? Well, you're going to learn a little something. We're going to have some fun. There's going to be some prizes to give away. And there's going to be some recognition. But that's schedule predictions. Like I said, we got Big Val sweepstakes coming up in June. So if you want to win one of these Big Val hats right here, like I said, you can jump on my Patreon, download the Patreon app, and check it out all over there. Remember, all the talk about Dion and Shador, right? Well, Dion and Shador. Well, when is the Cowboys going to release the Gambler? Nobody really been talking about that. Y'all remember everybody was watching America's Sweethearts. You know, the cheerleaders on Netflix for the Dallas Cowboys. When is the Gambler coming out? Because you know that's coming out too. Well, I've already shared when I think it's going to come out, and I think it's July 4th, because if you know the NFL Network like I know, what does the NFL Network play on July 4th every year? Let's see if anybody's paying attention. Let's get to some more comments. Sarah says, need to get my schedule predictions together. Thought I saved who was home and away, but can't find it. Well, you got to get it together. They'll be all due this Saturday. Those are the only 3 that you need to. Everything that I covered here is the competition. So the 3 games, who do they open up against at home? Who do we play on the road first? And then when do the Cowboys travel to Las Vegas? So those are the 3 predictions. Don't worry about doing the whole schedule. That was a little tough for me. And I got a few more things I need to iron out, especially when it comes to these primetime games, looking at my full schedule. But those are the 3 scheduled dates you need to win schedule dominance, along with your NFC East primetime picks. So primetime picks by team, and then those 3 dates are going to determine who our Gym Rat of the month for May is. Sterling says, never mind, we picking my week. What was I asking? I don't know. He says, I see us doing something like Marty Ball back in the 80s, 90s that his dad ran. Yeah. I need a Big Val hat for real, for real. Well, yeah, you see Dion got his cowboy hat on, and we got training camp coming up in August. So I'll be back down at training camp, because there were a lot of people at training camp last season. And then when you say, well, we're competing for all these prizes every month, Gym Rat of the Month, what's the overall grand prize? Well, great question. There's only going to be 12 Gym Rats of the Month. Now, this is a program I've done on Facebook for the last 3 years, for the last 2 years. On our 3rd year now. Shout out to Mike Rock, 2023 Gym Rat of the Year. First ever. We started in the middle of the year, completed it out. Shout out to that guy, Mike Rock. And then shout out to Charles Owens, who was 2024 Gym Rat of the Year. And now the 2025 Gym Rat of the Year will get a chance to go from the lower 48. This is cool, y'all. This is really cool. We got 2 sponsors here. Shout out to my sponsors as you see them up here on the board. You got Red Oak Builders right here. Red Oak Builders. You got Turf Caps right there. So shout out to Turf Caps. As you see them, I got them up here, and I got more news coming out about Stoney. I got a whole lot of stuff bubbling in the lab, if you know what I mean. But we're going to fly you from the lower 48. That is right up to Alaska. Now, look, I went to Alaska for the first time last year on this deep sea fishing tour with a bunch of Cowboy fans. Check out my girl, Kim Clam, right there to my left. She outfished everybody on the boat. I believe she'll be back to defend her crown like the Eagles will. Shout out to Rokeys. That is my guy, RC's son right there. RC is on the far right. That's his son, Rokeys, who just joined the Air Force. He was with us, too, as well. Shout out to my guy, RC, retired Air Force. But you're going to get a chance to go from the lower 48 up to Alaska. Next season, both my sponsors are going to fly the Gym Rat of the Year. We're going to determine the Gym Rat of the Year in May of next year. This competition runs from April to April. So if you're brand new on YouTube here and you're just checking me out, you've only missed 1 month. Now you can get into schedule predictions here. and get on the Patreon. And like I said, if anything, just get over there and check it out on the 7-day free trial. See if you like it. And if not, sign up. And if not, that's cool. You know what I mean? We don't need everybody over there. We're just looking for the folks that want to learn something and improve their game, especially during the off season. Why? Because this is a 120-day challenge, y'all. This is my new 120-day challenge. It's the first ever, y'all. It's going from May, June, July, and August. So that's going to keep us all engaged during the off season with competitions as we talk Cowboys and news and things. Like I said, we got the schedule breaking mid-May. So once the schedule breaks this month, a lot of people are going to be circling dates. And like I said, if you missed Atlanta last year, you're not going to want to miss Las Vegas as the takeover this year. Because I was in Las Vegas in June doing a lot of pre-work. I got a lot of events that I'm working on. Once this schedule comes out and we circle the dates, we got some community service projects we're going to do. There's some folks that live under tunnels in the city of Las Vegas. I got anybody tapping in here from Las Vegas? Shout out to all those folks that live in the tunnels underneath the city of Las Vegas. We plan on doing a community service event for folks that live under the tunnels. It's already in the works right now. We're looking at a golf tournament out there between Raiders fans and Cowboys fans. I'll be back out there in July in Vegas to set that up once the schedule comes out. So I'm working hard behind the scenes here. But if you have not checked this out, I need you to check it out. If you plan on going to Las Vegas and you're new here on my channel on YouTube, check out my blog, officialamericasteam.com, the only blog we've been talking about Cowboy stories since 2016. That link is in the comments. The top 5 things you need to do in Las Vegas, right? Because if you're going out there for the first time, you're going to want to have a plan. You got Allegiant Stadium there, right? What happens in Vegas won't stay in Vegas. You're right about that. You got Top Golf with a View. Shout out to Stacey Elliott and Terrence Parsons. This was in 2022 at the NFL draft when it was in Vegas. I had my first ever Cowboys cousin experience there. Shout out to the fathers that got to come in tow. You can read more about that. You got Planet 13. Oh, if you live in a state where cannabis ain't legal, it's Christmas when you come to Las Vegas, baby. And I'm going to be able to plug you in all to the right places. How many of y'all have seen the movie Casino? If you've seen the movie Casino, you know about this restaurant right here. The Pepper Mill, baby. When you go to Vegas, you got to go to the Pepper Mill. It's a timeless must-visit stop on the Las Vegas Strip. The Pepper Mill Restaurant and Lounge is a classic. With a calm atmosphere, unique drinks, and fantastic food and desserts, see why the Pepper Mill has been featured in numerous movies. Great vibe there. I love the Pepper Mill. Every time I'm in Vegas, I got to make a stop there. You can also tour the Star, which, by the way, I went and did a tour of the Star in January, or a tour of Allegiant Stadium, the Death Star, rather. Let me get it right. I toured the Death Star in January and also gave a review there, so that way you could check it out if you want to take a look at touring the stadium. And then lastly, in case you've been streaming under a rock, we saved the best for last, and I'm going to talk about the GOAT before we wrap it up here today on YouTube Saturday. If you're going to Las Vegas for the first time and you're a Cowboy fan, you got to go support Emmitt Smith's new steakhouse on the Strip. First black-owned business on the Las Vegas Strip by a Dallas Cowboy, Emmitt Smith. I'm going to tell you, I went there in June. The prime cut ribeye is to die for. I couldn't even eat it all. But you can go to Emmitt's there when you hit Vegas. It's definitely something that you got to do, but that link is in the comments. I even got a video there where you can check it out. That way you can go over there and get some more intel on it. But I will tell you this. If you don't make a reservation when the schedule comes out this month, if you're not calling Emmitt's trying to make a reservation, because I tell you, once 2 weeks after the schedule comes out, Emmitt's probably going to be booked for whenever the Cowboys come in there. I'm just going to tell you right now. So get it in and get it in good. Let's get to the rest of these comments. Sterling says, I can see a sweep for me. Oh, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Talking about sweep, talking about on the predictions? Well, get your primetime predictions ready today, baby. Y'all got mine, and I'll recap them one more time. Here they are. 6-5, 5-4. That's NFC East. It's must-see TV this week, or the must-see TV this season, baby. So I appreciate everybody tuning in here today. As always, if you tune in, thank you. If you gave me a like, a comment, and or a share, you know that social currency on YouTube is worth its weight in gold. I'm happy to be over here every Saturday with all the YouTube kids, all the cool kids over here. So I look forward to reaching out and collaborating with some of the YouTubers over here, much like I've done on Facebook with my platform on Facebook. So shout out to all of the YouTubers out here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we'll see y'all in the gym on the next episode of YouTube Saturday, exclusively with your boy BG. We'll see y'all then.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.